The NFL is a brutal business, but for no position is this reality harsher than for running backs. These guys take the most physical punishment on the field. Running backs consistently rank as the lowest paid non-special teams players in the league. In fact, nowadays the average running back only gets paid more than fullbacks, punters, and long snappers. Even kickers on average get paid significantly more than a running back. And the best backs in the league are barely an exception to the rule. This offseason alone, 6 of the top 12 rushers from last season switched teams due to the growing trend of teams refusing to pay their star backs what they believe they deserve. But first, if you're a massive sports fan who's into scouting athletes and sports analytics, the sponsor of this video might have a really exciting opportunity for you. Have you ever found yourself daydreaming about working in sports instead of sitting at your desk all day? Well, maybe it's time to make that dream your game plan. We here at Sports Insight are thrilled to partner with Southern New Hampshire University, or SNHU, with their incredible online sports management program. We're super excited to share how SNHU can kickstart your career in sports management. Imagine turning your passion for sports into a successful career without leaving your home. SNHU's program covers everything from sports economics to management principles. You'll learn directly from experienced faculty who are deeply embedded in the sports world. Graduates are prepared for roles like athletic director, sports information director, and marketing manager. Imagine overseeing sports programs or crafting major marketing campaigns for sports teams. You might even qualify for financial aid or transfer existing college credits. Visit snhu.edu/RSI to see if you qualify for SNHU's sports management program and to get started on your dream career today. For example, Saquon Barkley, despite a few injuries over the years, still remains a star at his position and is only 27 years old. You'd think a player like Barkley would be worthy of a big-time deal in the NFL. But instead of paying him, the Giants let him walk to free agency for nothing. After exploring the open market, Barkley was forced to accept a significantly lower contract than initially expected, signing a 3-year deal worth around $37 million with the Philadelphia Eagles. And it's not just Barkley that got an unexpected low valuation in free agency. Derrick Henry, the former Titans superstar, got shunned by the entire league as well. In 2020, Henry led the league by piling up 2,027 rushing yards. Last season, his numbers were slightly down, especially his attempts. But he was still incredibly productive, rushing for 1,167 yards and 12 touchdowns while averaging 4.2 yards per carry. Those numbers placed him second in the entire league at his position behind just Christian McCaffrey. The Titans, however, deemed him replaceable and let him walk for nothing as well. Henry eventually landed with the Baltimore Ravens for a fraction of his former glory, signing a 2-year deal worth just $16 million total. That's nothing for a legitimate star like Henry. The contrast between these running backs and other positions is stark. Take Gabe Davis, a wide receiver who played last season for the Buffalo Bills. He put up a respectable but not star-level season with 45 catches for 746 yards and 7 touchdowns. Yet in free agency, Davis was rewarded by the Jacksonville Jaguars with a 3-year, $39 million contract in free agency. That's a better deal than any of the top running backs got. Things haven't always been this way for running backs. However, a look back at history paints a clear picture of the running back's fading glory. Since the year 2015, the salary cap has increased significantly, and the amount of money it costs to place a franchise tag has increased immensely for every position in the league except for one. You guessed it. It actually costs less to place a franchise tag on running backs in 2023 than it did almost a decade ago in 2015. Crazy, right? So why are running backs getting shunned by the entire league? Well, for starters, the game has changed since the days of the 3-down workhorse back that enabled stars like Jim Brown, Barry Sanders, and Adrian Peterson to dominate the NFL. For reference, in the year 2000, 13 running backs eclipsed the prestigious 1,200-yard rushing mark. Fast forward a decade, and that number dropped to 10 by 2010. By 2019, only 6 backs reached the 1,200-yard plateau, and last season there was a solitary figure at the top, Christian McCaffrey of the San Francisco 49ers. This dramatic decline in rushing success speaks volumes. Statistics tell us that passing has become a significantly more efficient way to move the ball downfield. This shift in offensive philosophy is largely driven by analytics, which are becoming increasingly more used in the NFL these days. These analytic stats consistently show that passing plays offer a higher expected points added compared to runs. Rule changes have also played a significant role in the decline of the running game. Emphasis on protecting quarterbacks has led to stricter penalties for roughing the passer, making it more difficult for defenses to stop the aerial assault. Additionally, the league has cracked down on plays deemed illegal hits to the head, further hindering the effectiveness of traditional inside-the-tackles running attacks. On top of that, history clearly shows that teams that pay big contracts to running backs haven't been successful come playoff time. In fact, since 2009, the average salary of the Super Bowl winning team's lead running back has been around $1.4 million base salary. So as teams follow the leader, it's unlikely that teams are going to overbid for players at the grueling position. Instead, modern NFL teams have embraced the concept of a running back committee, utilizing a platoon of backs with specific skill sets. This strategy allows teams to manage workloads, reduce injury risks, and keep fresh legs on the field. The effectiveness of this approach has led many teams to shy away from investing heavily in a single lead back, further devaluing the position. The brutal reality is that running backs are injury-prone and have short careers. The average NFL running back plays for only 2.57 years before being replaced. This makes them risky investments, especially considering the high draft picks some teams expend on them. Let's circle back to Saquon Barkley, who's a prime example of why teams shy away from running backs in the first round of the NFL draft. In 2018, the Giants used the second overall pick to draft Barkley and deemed him the most talented player available in the draft since the Colts drafted Peyton Manning first overall way back in 1998. Now that's some pretty high praise. And they weren't far off. Barkley's talent has been undeniable. But now at only 27 years old, his career trajectory is already on the decline due to injuries and the high demands that come with the position. Meanwhile, other Pro Bowlers who might not have been quite as talented at the time of the draft remain valuable pieces for the teams that draft them. For example, positions like offensive line boast a significantly longer shelf life. Starting offensive linemen typically play for 8 to 10 years, making them much more reliable investments. And one could make a strong argument that offensive line play is a bigger indicator of a successful running attack than the individual talent of the running back himself. A dominant offensive line can create running lanes for even average backs, whereas a stellar running back can struggle to find daylight behind a porous offensive line. So there's merit to paying for a strong O-line instead of overpaying for a back to run behind them. Beyond that, the evolution of the quarterback position has also dealt a blow to the value of running backs. The rise of dual-threat quarterbacks like Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson presents a unique challenge for defenses. These quarterbacks not only possess exceptional passing skills, but can also scramble for significant yardage on the ground. This versatility forces defenses to dedicate resources to containing the quarterback's running ability, further diminishing the role of the traditional running back. Think of it this way. If a team puts an extra receiver on the field to spread the defense and tempt them to add defensive backs, a mobile quarterback can exploit the space by keeping the ball himself. Conversely, if a team stacks the box to stop the run, the dual-threat quarterback can exploit the single coverage against a receiver for a big gain. This versatility makes the dual-threat quarterback a more dynamic weapon, further diminishing the need for a high-priced running back. Clearly, with all these trends, the future of running backs in the NFL is a question mark. Will the position become increasingly marginalized as passing continues to dominate the offensive landscape? Is it fair for running backs to be paid significantly less than their counterparts despite carrying the brunt of the physical punishment? One of the biggest ethical dilemmas surrounding running backs is the workload they're expected to carry on their rookie contracts. Many teams heavily utilize their young backs, leading to injuries and decreased production by the time their rookie deals expire, making them less valuable in free agency. Should the league consider adjusting the rules around when running backs can become eligible for extensions to account for their shorter careers? However, such a change could further incentivize teams to shy away from drafting running backs high, creating a vicious cycle that further devalues the position. The NFL is a business, and teams are constantly looking for ways to gain an edge. The current trend suggests that running backs are becoming expendable cogs in the offensive machine. But we want to know what you guys think. Do running backs deserve to get paid more than they are currently getting? And if so, how can the league solve this problem? Let us know what you think in the comments section. And while you're at it, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more of our sports news and insights. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.